a lot of I think what is pushed, not even to our people, but even to the people, let's say for example in other countries, is information that's provided us through the media. Like Umar was making a point too. Like he was talking to Yachty. Dr. Umar, if you don't know Dr. Umar, you just need to look him up. He calls himself a Pan-Africanist, but he was talking to Yachty. He was like, bro, a lot of the damage that's caused to the black women is stuff that's perpetuated a lot of times from black men. And he was like, Yachty, you're a prime example because if you think about it, you were in hip hop and rap, which does a lot of sexualization of the black women. And so a lot of where people's ideas on, let's say, beauty standards, etc., that's where it's generated from what they see in the media. And that got me thinking to say, you know what? I think a lot of people will gather information, like you said, and he was talking about it. He was like, think about somebody who lives in a state where your majority population is white. Let's say, for example, a Maine, where I think it's like 98% or 97% white population. Yeah. If you live in Maine, you don't surround yourself around black people. No. And only thing that's available to you is what you see in the social media, the media, etc. That will, I think, generate some type of in your some type of convulsing reaction a lot of times to certain things, or not necessarily convulsionary response, but also something that I would say is just like you will just generate an idea because of that's the only thing that's been provided to you.
And also, I mean, it skews your perspective just in general.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
I know, like, growing up, even though I am African, like, majority of the media that, that you see about Africans is, poverty. Like, people genuinely be surprised when they realize there's rich Africans. There's, people have money over there. And it's just like what's pushed to the media. Like you can say that about every race. Like they only push what they want you to see. So like you gotta keep in mind of that. That's the media is only gonna show one side. It's called framing. Like there's the entire reality that goes outside of what they're portraying on the screen, and vice versa. Like a lot of what other countries or whatever will see from us is just portrayed through media. So, their idea of Americans or America, rather than, before they get here, is completely different. It's purely media based. So it's honestly just caricature type stuff for real. So it's like, it's easy to get lost in that. Because most Americans, like the only Black Americans, like the only African that they've seen is usually on media or, they might have encountered like a couple of friends. Yeah, but like most people think Michael Blackson, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like,
he's not, like, it was even like a thing where Kai Cenat just went to Nigeria.
Yeah.
He was like losing his mind. They were all losing their mind off of like Davido. And I'm like, bro, Davido's a billionaire.
Yeah.
Like, but in like the highest, I think, concentration of billionaires in the world is in, I think, Nigeria. But like you said, what's pushed in the information is the poverty. Now, granted, there is a large amount of poverty.
Absolutely.
There's poor government and everything like that. But
it's also huge.
It's a huge, like, and that's
Africa is a continent, bro.
I was talking to people about that. They were trying to talk about how I was having this debate on Afrobeats. They were talking about how like nobody listens to it. I was like, that's not true. I was like, are you insane? Yeah. And that's what I was talking about, like how Joe Budden was like making the commentary about how he thinks hip hop is dying out because there's so many other genres of media or music that are kind of flooding the market. But I was like, telling people, I was like, yo, are you crazy? Because I was like, your perspective was based on America. Yeah. Like, people were like so surprised, like when they were talking about Bad Bunny being so, they're like, I never heard Bad Bunny. I was like, it doesn't matter if you heard him or not. I was
everybody else in the world is.
Do you understand how large the
international market is compared to the U.S.?
I was like, are you out of your mind?
Yeah.
And that's what I was like, the same thing. I was talking about the Afrobeats, and they were like, I never heard Afrobeats. I'm listening to that. I was like, okay, you don't have to listen to it. If you listen, all right, let's say, for example, rap and hip hop. Majority of the rap and hip hop is going to be listened to in the United States. Just take Nigeria, which is one country. The population in Nigeria is literally over 2/3 of the population in America. So if you just take the audience that's available to Nigerians, just off of Nigeria can surpass majority of the artists. Which, like I said, a lot of them say hip hop is regional based. Anyways, so you're not gonna get majority of the fans in the United States.
Yeah.
So And I was like, that's just Nigeria, not to include Ghana, West Africa. They're not talking about North Africa, South Africa. So I was like, but just Africa in itself is way bigger.
Yeah, but that's a collection of like 50-something countries, bro.
Right.
Like people are tweaking,
people
bro.
are lost in the sauce. Yeah. It was like that's what's like the same thing. Like people talk about K-pop and stuff like that. You do understand that there's people outside of the United States, and there's a vast majority of the population of the world is outside the United States. But yeah, I was at the same argument. Like, are you crazy? But yeah, people don't understand that there's, like you said, information, but that's the only, I guess, what's provided to them. Mm-hmm. I don't make an excuse for it, though, because there is now an opportunity to learn. But I say that to say, I think a lot of the media that's pushed out is pushed out framing us in a certain light. Mm-hmm. And I was thinking about it, too. A lot of the media that, like kind of piggybacking what Umar was saying, a lot of the media that is shared to the world is pushed out from us, and it's destructive coming from us. Like, if you think about it, some of the, like, people pioneers, like, black media, like, a lot of stuff that came out in the 90s, like, the gangster flicks, that was like you say, I was looking it up, like, Juice, Don't Be a Menace, things like that, like, what's the movie where they're, I don't even know the purpose in the movie, honestly. It's literally just them. Like, it starts off with the kid with the braids. They go kill the guy in the grocery store and the gas station store.
Menace Society.
Menace Society. Like, all that stuff. I was looking at it the other day. The creators behind it are black people.
Yeah.
Cool. So you painted a great light. Well, you got an opportunity to paint a picture. Mm. But what you've introduced to the media is this
caricature.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it's just like we were talking about with the Taraji thing. We're like, you've created a lane for black people to be in when you talk about in art, in theater, movies, and they become typecasted as this is what the opportunity you have. If we need a black guy, he's got to be a thug. He's got to be a rapper. He's got to be, like, you know what I'm saying? Versus we got to be a slave. How many times we come out with slave movies?
Yeah.
Like, and like that's the something that Umar was talking about, because you don't have these movies. Let's say, for example, when you have these like fully functional families. Yes, maybe nowadays we're starting to see more inclusion, but these fully functional families. We're like, okay, the mom's working, the dad's working, like, you know, they're lawyers, doctors. So if you're, like, say, if you're white, you see that stuff. Each and every day you're reinforced by the success story.
And then on top of that, like, you got to think, majority of white people don't encounter black people outside. I mean, like, in their everyday life.
That's like why I say, I think also, because I could touch on like I was saying, if you're white and your parents both are successful, your friends' parents are successful, then you go to the media and the parents are successful, you paying for yourself to be successful. Yeah. But then in the media for black people, it starts at home. If you are, God forbid you be in a broken home to start off with, and then your friends have broken homes, then you start to normalize that, and then you start to see movies, and that's perpetuated. So then that's what you frame yourself as. And then, like you said, on the opposite end, if you're another race and that's all you see, that's what you believe it is. If all you see is Juice, Menace to Society, all these movies that people galvanize for the black community, or people like to live to the highest point for the community, and this is the only information that you have to go off from black people, and then you have hip hop. It's like, you can see why people might have this kind of skewed idea in their head of how we view us.
I will say, like, we do have a kind of override of, like, I don't know, like, kind of circulating negativity within our community. And it's not necessarily like we won't take all the blame because it's not necessarily all of our fault, but it's just we do have a great role in continuing to perpetuate that rhetoric. So it's like we gotta, you know, because consumption, when what you consume is everything. And I feel like we don't take that into account as much as we should, because I mean we've seen, you know, how people have treated us historically. And then we'll come back around and be like, yeah, here's some more trauma in Black Plight. And matter of fact, make a movie off of it. And actually, not just make a movie out of it, make a soundtrack about it too.
And then make, and then it's, I saw that success off of that one movie.
Yeah.
Let's duplicate that.
Yeah.
And then you just start to get a snowball effect of everybody doing this. And like I said, you paint this light of what this race is because you see these characters, and then you start to see, like I said, people getting typecast in certain roles because this role here is for a successful da-da-da-da-da-da. I could jump in this. Because he was talking about, like that's what he was kind of talking about, too. Umar was talking about, like, this, the structure and what you might see in, like, for example, like Tubi and reality TV. But if you look at it, let's say, for example, like Zeus TV, their CEO is black.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. He's making his money. Sure, he's just somebody who's doing it. But I think the quick jump for a lot of these black creatives is you kind of follow this trend that puts the people in a certain light.
Yeah.
And so you're not further progressing anything for, I think, the community. You're just, yes, you did give jobs, you gave opportunities for those individuals, but like down the line, all you've done is just
typecast them.
Yeah, I'm saying?
Because, I mean, you could speak to, like, Tyler Perry giving, opportunities and roles to a bunch of actors, but majority of them are typecasted because they can't do anything except for act in a caricature or be the best Negro on screen.
Like
that's literally
a perfect example. Like you got Tyler Perry Studios, great, awesome. You generate a lot of wealth for, the Tyler Perry family.
Yeah,
and you've given a lot of opportunities and jobs and employment for black people, actors, producers, writers, everything. But like you said, you're continuing to push that. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Where we talked about every Tyler Perry movie comes out with this a black woman that's being hurt by the black man, and she's gonna have to find another idea of what love is, and da 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 da. So it's like you kind of pushing this thing, or you have this black man or person or whatever who's in trouble every day, and so maybe it speaks to people, but it's like you continue to push out rhetoric that paints us in a certain light, and then you, like you said, you have these actors that can max out in where you're at as an actor because you're not putting yourself like you said, you're not. Let's say, like, for example, a huge film that recently dropped was Oppenheimer. I understand that that there's some historical accuracy that you have to portray, but that was talked about because it was such a great movie, and I don't know why a lot of the time, let's say, for example, a great guy like Brian Coogler, who has really done a lot for black people, you created lanes and narratives and opportunities for black people without necessarily having to paint them off of this negative.
And consider he wasn't consistently focusing on trauma and black. It looked at it portrayed us in a different light, in which I like directors doing that and taking that initiative to kind of create your own stories and create your own narratives, because you don't have to have a black version of everything if you want to be a black director or a black creator. That's not the only way you can do it, or you don't have to just be a caricature. Because, I mean, realistically, if you look at historically, the only thing that they ever award us for is either being a caricature on screen or a historical figure. So it's pretty much just being black. You know what I'm saying? In layman's terms.
It's not facts, like you said.
It's just...
You get awarded, 12 Years a Slave, great movie.
Best Negro. That's the equivalent to what it is. Because it's like, you look at a lot of these black actors and actresses, and like, they're great in their own right. Like, I think they're all talented, but you look at the awards that they win their awards for, and as far as the Academy is concerned, it's never for their best acting performance. It's for it's for the one that they played the best black person on the screen, or the best stereotypical black person, or the best historical figure. Like, it's never we never get any recognition for our original black creators or our black characters.
Other than, like I said, if I could look at it in the last few years, we got Black
Panther was the first.
The only person who won, let's just say, in the last 20 years, starting in the year 2000, Denzel Washington won in Training Day. This is just second African American actor to receive the award for Best Actor. And then it was the first time two African American performers won the same year. Halle Berry won in Monsters Ball. Will Smith was nominated for Ali. He didn't win. Jamie Foxx won Ray Charles. Cool.
But again, historical figure. Historical figure.
Exactly. Terrence Howard was nominated in Hustle and Flow. Don Cheadle was nominated in Hotel Rwanda, historical figure. Forrest Whitaker won.
Hustle and Flow, stereotypical.
You know what I'm saying? Like? The Last King of Scotland, Forrest Whitaker won that. Okay. Pursuit of Happiness, Will Smith, that was more so an original. Cool, we got nominated. We didn't win. Morgan Freeman, nominated for Nelson Mandela. Denzel Washington, nominated for Flight. 12 Years a Slave, nominated. Daniel Kaluuya was nominated for Get Out. I didn't know he didn't win that. Chadwick Boseman, nominated for Levy Green and Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. Will Smith won for King Richard.
Yeah, historical figure.
You know what I'm saying?
Stereotypical black guy.
So in the last 20 years, we got 3 people that won.
Which, like, and it's not at all knock to their,
that's their credit, yeah, for sure.
But it's just, look at, what you have to do for you to be nominated. You either have to put on this outstanding, because look at any of the years where they were nominated, to us, it's an absolute amazing acting performance.
No, yeah.
Regarded, it's not even just to us, I would say, widely regarded, all of these movies and all of these films are regarded as high cinematic classics, or these are beautiful pieces of work. You know what I'm saying? Even the ones that outside of the confines they were nominated by, they're still great pieces of work, great acting performances. But it's just most times, 9 times out of 10, you might get nominated if you just put on that great of a performance. And that, like, Denzel, what did he get nominated for? I think it was Training Day.
So he got nominated. So if I just say ever,
it was nominated for.
He got nominated for Malcolm X.
Yeah, that was the one.
He won Training Day.
Right. So, again, you either got to do one or the other, you feel me, to be up there. And I think, personally, I think Training Day was just a pity because they didn't give it to him for Malcolm X.
No, yeah.
But, I mean, they were both great performances, but I feel like there was a little bit of funny business with that because he should have got one for Malcolm X.
No, yeah.
But, I mean, every time, that's the only thing they're going to award us for is either being a great historical figure or being a stereotypical black person on screen. Even Monique, I think she got nominated or nods for Precious. You feel me? Stereotype. If you further a stereotype, yeah, we got love for you, bro.
Nah, facts. Yeah, nominated for Precious. Yeah, I completely agree with that.
Yeah.
And that made me really think about it. I was like, damn, we were actually doing consistent, not necessarily damage, but damage. Yeah. To definitely, like I said, if I could speak to like what we're doing in entertainment and music, yes, I could definitely say damage. To the next generation for sure. And like you said, we're putting ourselves in a box with how we create art. I would definitely say. And
we're also not putting, because I won't sit here and act like this is the only stuff that is out. It's not. The stuff that gets pushed to the masses and the stuff that gets pushed mainstream is not. It's not the only stuff that's out. There's always been people making stuff that consists of great subject matter, positivity, and whatnot. It's always there. But a lot of that stuff doesn't get pushed to the forefront, and we've got to do a better job as a people of pushing that stuff to the forefront. That type of stuff.
Because at the end of the day, like I said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Why would you go against the grain when you know that there's a certain, like you said, there's a certain piece of art that's gonna get generated, that's gonna be pushed to the front.